Peace, peace, and blessings, everyone. Maurice here with you from Friends of the Congo. We have our brother Kilimali with us live from the front lines of the conflict east in the Congo. We're on today for a special live session based on what has been happening over the last 72 hours or so as the Rwandan soldiers and Rwandan government's M23 militia continue to make advances in east of Congo, continue to occupy territory. Some say they've occupied more territory in eastern Congo than the size of Rwanda itself, and others say that if this continues, by the middle of the year, Rwanda and its M23 militia would have occupied all of eastern Congo. So we have our brother Kilimali on to give us a view from the ground. What's going on from what he's hearing, seeing from the ground there in Goma. Welcome, brother. How you doing?
Thank you so much. I'm doing okay, and I'm doing okay healthily, but the situation is going worse here. Mm-hmm. There is also some good news, but it's not enough. But this is the situation.
Yes. Share with us. Apparently, Rwandan soldiers and M23 took Masisi, a key city and territory, on Sunday, and we've seen the response from the European Union and the U.S. government. The usual response: we condemn, Rwanda's or the M23's engagement in the Congo. Just the same feckless response that really mean nothing to those who have been displaced. We heard that within the past week, over 100,000 people have been displaced from Masisi. The health centers, according to Doctors Without Borders, are overrun with injuries. So what are you hearing from on the ground? What are people saying there about what's going on?
Yes, first of all, yes, exactly. Last Sunday, from the Friday, there were fights around the area of Katali. It's at some kilometers from Masisi center, because they took so many area of Masisi, including the area of Rubaya, until now under their control, which is one of the important mine of coltan here in the east of DRC. But Masisi, it now it like the head where there is a state administration of Masisi, and they took it on Sunday, and they took it, and the M23 with the support of backing by Rwanda for sure, took Masisi, and they organize a kind of meeting where they say that they don't want they say the Congolese army and some local fighter which called Wazalendo to don't come and to don't fight with them again, and that they will win that fight and whatever. But this is a situation about Masisi, and in Masisi territory in general. This evening, and this is the latest news, is that the Congolese army took also a village near Ngungu.
Right.
They took some village near Ngungu right now, and they took also an important mountain which called Kauli. It also near Sake. This is about areas on fighting, and also the Congolese army said with some source, because the Congolese army didn't do any statement, but some source in the Congolese army said that they take the mountain of Ndumba near Bweremana territory in Masisi, but until now it's really difficult because it's an operational area, and there is no civilian society actors and population to ask them. So it's quite difficult to know exactly and to confirm that that they took that important mountain of Rondumba near Bweremana, but until now we still waiting from news from the army and also from civilian society actors which can have the access of that area. But as you said, on the political area, when because you have to know that Masisi is an important area because there is a lot of people which are living there in Masisi, and there is also the office of the administration. Yes.
Akilimali's Masisi is like northwest of Goma, right? Going to the interior of Congo. Maybe
Exactly.
about 75 kilometers or so from Goma.
It's around 80 kilometers in the west of Goma. And also another important thing that is Masisi is also the way to going to Walikale. And when we are saying about something about Walikale, we have to think about BCA, because BCA, there is a company, a society, an American society, which called BCA Alpha Mean Mining, which they are saying that it's landed by Motorola, and they can be in contact with Apple to give some coltan, which are important for telephone. So it means that road, it's really important.
Walikale is also a center for tin, right? Wolframite.
Exactly, it's a center also for coltan, for coltan, and it's also a center for gold. There are those two minerals which are almost in Walikale, and when they took Masisi, it means they are at around 12 kilometers to the border of Walikale, and from there they can go, 12 kilometers is not really far, and the Congolese army is trying to stop them, but we don't know until when, because it's the same statement with the Congolese army, with Wazalendo, and with MONUSCO, that they're trying their best to stop the movement, but finally they didn't do it because there is civilian people which can be in danger. It's the same speech, and you have to know on political area that at the same time the President Tshisekedi were in Qatar to officially see them, to officially discuss with the government of Qatar about the cooperation between the Qatar and the Congolese government, but unofficially, many sources are saying, which are not confirmed yet, but many sources are saying that the President Tshisekedi is one of the supporter of PSG, which called Paris Saint-Germain, a team of Paris in France, wish to participate in that match, and he participated, but journalists and others were not allowed to film him, and he were quite far from cameras. Until now, we don't know yet, but he spent only the day of the match, because today he were in
Ghana.
Yes, today he were in Ghana. Yes, for
so let me see if I'm understanding what you're saying. There's an urgent situation. In the past week, 100,000 Congolese have been displaced as a result of the Rwanda M23 continued occupation of Eastern Congo. The occupation, as some people are saying, is now larger, if not as large, larger than the size of Rwanda. And we see that the president of the Congo is in Qatar at a soccer match, and people are showing pictures of the soccer match. These soccer matches you often see. I don't know if one of the teams are in collaboration or sponsorship with Rwanda, where it says "Visit Rwanda" on their back.
Yes, exactly.
Right. By the way, we're
Exactly.
telling people don't visit Rwanda. As long as Rwanda and the M23 are occupying Eastern Congo, as long as the M23 are raping women and killing children, and Rwanda has thousands of soldiers in Eastern Congo, do not visit Rwanda. Do not support the companies that support Rwanda. But in any case, while this is happening, the president is in Qatar. He comes back. I don't know, did he come back to the Congo and then go to Ghana for the inauguration of, the newly elected president of Ghana? Your camera is flipped there. Did you get stuck? I'm not sure. You may have gotten stuck, Akilimali. While Akilimali gets his.
Let me check.
Oh, you're back. Good, good. So I was just asking.
Can you get me
I don't know
there?
if you heard me. I don't know if you
Thank
heard
you
me
so much.
that here it is. The president was in Qatar, came back. I don't know if he came back to Congo or if he went straight to Accra for the inauguration of
No,
new
officially he
main
came back
president.
to Congo, but for a few hours. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine. We can hear you
Okay,
fine.
thank
Go
you so
ahead.
much. He came in Congo for a few hours because there is a ceremony, an official ceremony of replacement of the headquarter, all the headquarter team of the Congolese army with the General Gilles, which replaced the General Chiwewe, and he participated in that ceremony. And after participating in that ceremony, he went exactly to Accra. And from Africa Intelligence, he will be also in 2 days. He will be in Venezuela, where Nicolas Maduro will be very soon. And this is also one of the contrasts for Congolese people, and Congolese people, first of all, in the east of DRC, they are saying that they don't know if really the president is taking how heavy is the difficult, how heavy is the life, how difficult is the situation, and how the country is under control of Rwanda army backing, using the name of the M23, and how is very complicated for people to live, and how people are flying and they are waiting for their president and the commander, the chief commander of the army, to try to solve the situation and to try to give some solution, and also the chief of the diplomacy to try to call some countries to say if they can give some sanction or whatever to the Rwanda, in the way to push pressure to Rwanda to stop attacking other areas. But he went to the match, he went to the ceremony, and
it's interesting. It's interesting you're saying that, Akilimali. I mean, say what you will about Ukraine and Zelensky and all. A number of Congolese, they complain. They're like, "Oh, we're getting more. Ukraine is getting more attention than the Congo, right? There's a crisis in the Congo and there's war, but people are talking about Ukraine. Say what you will about Zelensky, agree, disagree. At least whether it's sincere or for show, they show him like engaged, like he's like either on the front lines or talking to the troops. But then you have the president of the Congo at a football match, and reporters and activists are saying he's telling the reporters not to film him, and then next thing you know, he's at an inauguration, while the people continue to languish. I mean, the Doctors Without Borders are saying the hospitals are overflooded in Masisi city. 100,000 people have been displaced, and the president is out of the country. Like it makes it. How can I say it? It gives an impression, right, that the east of the Congo really is not a priority for the government of the Congo. Yes. Especially when if you talk to people right now, what is the president mobilizing around? They'll say, oh, he's mobilizing around and his lieutenants changing the constitution, right? he may change the constitution into a country that he doesn't have by the time he gets to that point, right? I mean, that's what it's looking like, right? I mean, you talk the M23, the Rwandan government, Rwandan soldiers, and the M23 militia continue to accumulate more and more territory in the Congo. You know, like these are the facts on the ground. They're talking about the Luanda Accords that have failed, and then now they're saying we need to go back to the Nairobi Accords as well. And then you have the Rwandan foreign minister getting on social media with a craziness, saying that, oh, you know, people are talking, you know, the embassies and the diplomats are saying that Rwanda is involved. And what he doesn't say, he doesn't deny Rwanda's involvement. He just said, well, you know, this is all happening because of, you know, persecution of Tutsis, or because of, you know, and this, the
FDLR.
you know, FDLR and hate speech that's coming out of the Congo against Tutsis. So that gives the Rwandan military the right to go into the Congo and occupy territory in the Congo, larger than the size of Rwanda. It's just insane. It seems like the people are trapped between a president that really doesn't, through his actions, seem to care, right, or have the capacity to do anything about it, and an aggressive nation that's occupying territory while lying about the territory that it's occupying, lying about its troops being in the Congo. So the people are really left to their own devices, it seems, in Eastern Congo at this juncture, or left to, you know, to the wolves of Rwanda, so to speak.
Exactly. One of the bettest example I can say is the list of the international crisis group, which had a list of the 10 important conflicts to take care on 2025, and they said 10th conflict which we have to take care and to see very near. And you can see that the conflict in the east of DRC were not in that list. And you can say, how can this be possible when the conflict in the east of DRC killed the more people, it's one of the killing war after the Second World War, because in terms of number conflict of killings, exactly, in terms of number, but an organization with researchers like International Crisis Group didn't say that that conflict is one of the conflict to see and to pay attention about. And they say it's Sudan, they say Yemen, they say Palestine, they say Ukraine. They say so many things, and Congo it's not inside. And Congolese people said, probably it because our president is traveling at the same time, and they say probably that country it's not really in the bad situation, and what people can watch or can listen about it. It's only a movie from Hollywood, for example. It's only a movie which it's only something which it's not the truth, but it's only a legend and something which really happened, and it's not a true story.
And this is
my
exactly. So that's why we have you on, Kilimali, to let us know what the people are feeling, what they're saying. You know, you're reporting from the front lines of the conflict. You've been all over the different territories. What are the folks saying about Rwanda and its aggression and the M23? What are they saying about the president and of the Congo, who seems to be absent in this horrendous crisis? How are people feeling? What are they saying? What do they think can be done in light of the challenges that they face?
So first of all, people feel abandoned by its government. First of all, because the government has soldiers and weapons, and could try to solve the situation and only to stop the progression of the M23. But until now, the M23 is still progressing. And it's still taking more territory, as you said, more than Rwanda. And people are saying that this is very, very difficult. And people are feeling that the president really abandoned people and abandoned the population in this situation. He is acting like the Congo is in a kind of stability politically and on security, and he's looking from some support economically or whatever. We don't know exactly what. And another thing is people is feeling abandoned by also the United Mission, which is here in North Kivu and in Ituri, and it's one of the modest mission in the world.
Yeah, right. The largest UN mission in the world is in the Congo. But at the same time,
exactly,
you have the Rwandan military firing surface-to-air missiles at the UN troops. And Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General, said that the militia, the M23, are better armed than the UN, which is really the Rwandan military that's better armed than the UN. So
even if it could be the Rwandan army and Rwandan weapon, you have to know that there are so many countries which are more equipped than the Rwanda army, and they have more training, and they have also some troops. But the problem, and this is a view from the Congolese activists and the Congolese actors, is that the United Nations is trying only to lie about what is going on. Is that the UN don't want to fight against the M23, and it's saying that is M23 it's more equipped, and they have a sophisticated weapon more than MONUSCO, which is not really the truth. On the ground is one of the fact. And the second factor about the issue of MONUSCO is that there are so many countries which are not allowed their troops to go to the fight, and they don't want their soldiers, those countries, they don't want their soldiers to fight against the M23, because you know that it's the FIB, which it's
that's the force intervention brigade.
Yes, exactly. The first intervention brigade, which helped with the Congolese army, with Mamadou Ndala, the Colonel Mamadou Ndala, and the General Bauma Ambamba. We celebrate the death of Mamadou Ndala at the beginning of this year on the 2nd January. Yes, on January 2nd, and it's them which put this M23 supporting by the Rwanda army and the Uganda army, and it were only Malawian, Tanzanian, and South African in that time, which helped a lot with heavy weapons and with artillery to end the M23. And now with other countries like Senegal, because the new commander is a Senegalese, with countries like Senegal, like Nepal, we have Brazil, you have Morocco, you have Indonesia, you have South Africa, which is in MONUSCO, in the FIB, and they're also in another mission, which is the SADC. So you have also Tanzania, which is one of the one of the most occupied army in the continent, which are here and are not doing nothing.
So you have all these. So you have the South Africans, the Malawians, you have the Tanzanians, all are part of the Force Intervention Brigade. And then you have
Exactly.
the MONUSCO, and then you also have mercenaries from Eastern Europe. I think they made a couple thousand or so, fighting against the M23, right, and the Rwandan soldiers, but they continue to lose territory.
Exactly. You have in Congo right now. You have some mercenaries which are working on those two parts. It mean on the part of the M23 and Rwanda, and on the part of the Congolese army, you have some mercenaries which are which called Légion étrangère française. Some member of that. You have also the SADC, which is Malawian, you have South African, you have also Tanzanian troops which are here and are did, and you have also the MONUSCO with FIB and all the troops and all its troops, Nepal, Morocco, whatever, which are here, and they are organized an operation which called Springbok, because from MONUSCO they are only trying to protect Goma. Only Goma and Sake, and from MONUSCO, if any area and any territory, even if they can reach Kinshasa, if they didn't reach Goma and Sake, from MONUSCO with its operation, which called Springbok, from them it's fine. You have also the Congolese army. You have also the Burundian army. You have also you have on the part of the M23, you have the Rwandan army officially, because there is a report from UN and from other experts.
Up to 4,000 Rwandan soldiers are there, according to the UN.
Exactly, it should be more. It should be more from the latest report, because the conflict is increasing, and it should be more. The next report should report more than those 4,000 Rwandan soldiers. You have also some mercenaries there, and you have also, there are some people which are saying that there are also some Ugandan troops and Ugandan support to fight against the Congolese army.
That's interesting that you say that, Akili Mali, because we know that Rwanda M23, they've occupied Bunagana since 2021, I believe, right? Or 2022, 2022.
Exactly.
And that couldn't happen without the support of the Ugandan military, Ugandan government, based on the geography. So Uganda is also a player in there as well. Maybe not to the extent of Rwanda, but they continue to be on the side of the militia, on the side of the aggressor nations, and certainly not with the Congolese people.
Exactly, and in Congo, people are asking, as you are saying about Uganda, people are asking themselves about really what is going on about Uganda, because the Uganda is in a same operation which is called Shuja, which is an operation which is doing by the Ugandan People Defensive Force, UPDF, the official army of Uganda, and with the Congolese army, FARDC, which call the Operation Shuja, and it's fighting against the terrorist movement, which is the ADF in the north of the North Kivu.
Allied Democratic Forces.
Exactly, and with the ADF, which is in North Kivu, in the north of North Kivu, and in the south of the province of the Ituri, all those two provinces which are under the siege from now more than 2 years, and the situation is like their partner on that front, and their enemy from the same army, from the same Congolese army, to another front in the south with M23, and people are really afraid about what is going on. Last time I discussed with some researchers which say that right now, as the Rwanda and the international community, there are some countries which are supporting the Congo to be divided
Right.
divided
Yeah.
in so many
Well,
territories.
yeah. I mean, there's been a long argument on the part of folks in the West for what they call the balkanization of the Congo. That they figure the Congo is too
Exactly.
big, to be under one government. So they support the breaking up of the Congo. They've written right out of Washington. The former special envoy to the Great Lakes region, Peter Palm, with the Atlantic Council. He wrote a piece with some folks, scholars out of South Africa, making an argument for the breakup of the Congo. So that's a strong sentiment that's in the intellectual circles, certainly the think tank circles of Washington, and people making that argument. The way we're looking at it today, Rwanda is really creating facts on the ground that if Rwanda can control Eastern Congo, then those are facts. Much the same way that Israel occupies land, Palestinian land, right? They create facts on the ground, and you have to negotiate from that point. And it's not really that surprising. Rwanda, Israel, Kagame, Netanyahu, there really isn't a great deal of distinction between the two, especially as it relates to the support that they get from the United States, whether it's arms, financing, intelligence, equipment, training. And then, of course, the U.S. runs diplomatic and political cover for them, when they commit war crimes, crimes against humanity, or genocide, right? So it's not a stretch to see them drawing from a similar playbook. But you said something about 2012, Akili Mali, that the ingredients that went into defeating the M23, right? You talked about the strengthening of the UN mandate through Chapter 7, which is produce the Force Intervention Brigade, right? You talked about Mamadou Ndala and General Bauma, basically brave patriots, right, in the Congolese military that were selfless and believed in a strong, unified Congo, and were willing to put their lives on the line for it. And they did. And as a result of them being successful in their bravery and their fighting, they were taken out, they were assassinated, right? But there are also a few other ingredients as well. At the time, the United States withheld military aid from the Rwandan government, and a number of European nations also withheld tens of millions of dollars from the Rwandan government. So there's like this diplomatic pressure on the Rwandan purse string, because Rwanda, I think about 40% of its budget right now, as much as Paul Kagame talks about self-sufficiency and all of that, almost half of the budget is financed by the West, right? In terms of aid. And then you had the foreign ministers from Western nations are putting pressure on the Rwandan government. However, today, 12 years later, as Rwanda occupies more territory, right, in Eastern Congo, some people say larger than the Rwandan state itself, we see that France is, working with the European Union to give Rwanda money, $20 million, because Rwanda is protecting French economic interests in Mozambique, with the oil company, the natural gas company, Total, in Cabo Delgado, right, in Mozambique. In addition, so France is really carrying water for Rwanda in Europe, right? In addition to that, because of the West's thirst for access to critical minerals, we find the European Union engaging in the critical minerals deal with the Rwandan government, right? We talked about tin, we talked about coltan, we talk about how right now the M23 Rwandan military has captured the largest coltan mine in the Congo, right? So it seems like the West is, at this moment anyways, is rewarding Rwanda. The more aggressive it gets, the more territory it occupies, the more mineral sites it controls. They're being rewarded by money from France, the European Union, critical minerals deals. So it's just fascinating to see how, in the face of the tremendous suffering that the Congolese people have to deal with, that the West, the European powers, continue to just issue announcements, and at the same time awarding Rwanda with contracts and money. So what that says to me, says to us, is that we really have to step up the pressure. I know people are rallying and saying, hey, let's boycott Apple, or they're cheering on the Congolese government for filing a suit against Apple. We really need to be demonstrating in front of the Rwandan embassies. If people want to be in solidarity with the Congolese people, say, no, don't visit Rwanda. Don't visit Rwanda. No, Paul Kagame, you cannot come here as long as you're occupying and killing, our fellow Africans in the Congo. So we just really need to step up the pressure, at least, on the outside, in terms of the role we can play on the the Rwandan government and its propaganda arm. Meanwhile, you guys on the inside try to put pressure on President Tshisekedi for him to do more, for him to act like this is an emergency, like Congolese citizens are being killed, women are being raped, children are being massacred. So that just seems to be like there's so much more that can be done. I don't know. Young people are demonstrating in Goma, from what I understand. Maybe you can share a little bit about their activity on the ground that the youth are taking on there in Goma.
Right now, it's really complicated. To know exactly what the Congolese government is thinking about the conflict. And as I said, right now there is some researchers here locally which are saying that it's one of the plans.
It looks like we have Kilimali is frozen again. He'll probably come back shortly. Kilimali Choma Choma is a journalist in Goma, in Eastern Congo, North Kivu province. He provides us with regular updates of what's going on and from the ground. He's traveled throughout the region to report really, behind enemy lines sometime and bring us back, fresh information of what's happening to the people, basically. Those territories that are being occupied, the displacements that are taking place, and he's got a dangerous job that he's doing as a journalist in a war zone. So if you have any doubt, or irrespective of where the president of the Congo is, whether it's in Qatar or in Ghana with President Mahama or wherever, what you do know from what Kilimali is sharing, what folks on the front lines are sharing, is that they're catching hell. That you have a Rwandan government and its military that's bent on occupying more territory, acquiring more territory in the Congo. Those are the facts. You'll listen to news reports and they'll say, well, the Rwandan government denies. It is evident. The Rwandan soldiers are there. The UN says there are up to 4,000 Rwandan soldiers are there. The foreign minister for Rwanda put out a statement today on the social media. You'll notice when you see whether it's the President Kagame or its foreign minister, when confronted with their war of aggression and plunder against the Congolese people, which is going on for about 30 years now, the latest response, they'll say, well, this Kagame himself, the direct quote, said, well, you have to ask, when he's asked by a reporter, he says, well, you have to ask, why are we there? That's what he is, why are we there? And then he goes on to list off a litany of, reasons that have no basis whatsoever in terms of, quote unquote, here we have Kilimali back. Thank you. We're back with you. Kilimali, I was just sharing, if you continue about what's happening on the ground in Goma, people are, I think I was asking if folks are demonstrating, and I think I saw something saying that young people are looking to demonstrate and just try and put pressure on the government however they can to do something.
Yes, exactly. There is a kind of demonstration, not only one, but so many kind of demonstration against the Congolese government, to say that the Congolese government should develop a kind of solution to give to this conflict, and that as the land of DRC, the Congolese land, is went to Rwanda right now, and it's under its control. And as I said, there are some suspicion, and also some Congolese researchers are saying that the administration of the M23 is not really in need of negotiation, and it's not trying to put to give that territory to give it back to the Congo, but they are trying to like colonize it, like the Palestinian territory is colonized by Israel, and they are trying to do the same with that territory, and to try to say that the Congolese to trying to put the own administration, and to try to say we will keep discussing, but but before we finish the discussion, we will control this territory, and at the end, they have the plan to build a kind of a country which is not true, which is not will be which it will not be really a country, but it will be a proxy of the Rwanda, with Rwandan troop, with the M23, and with its administration, and finally to divide the Congo, and from the Rwanda and Uganda to control the east of the DRC, and to control those critical minerals, as you said, and to provide it to Western country, and to provide it to the US and UK and France. And this is one of the difficult things about the demonstration. The demonstration were stopped by the Congolese authority here in Goma, as we are in the state of siege.
You're still under a state of siege, right?
Yes, yes, we still are under the state of siege, and the authorities say that as we are in the state of siege, so people are not allowed to do demonstration. But there were demonstrations here in Goma, and also there were some activities of demonstration in Kinshasa, but all those demonstrations didn't really get the noise, because, you know, Western media are choosing right now what to cover and what to say about the conflict in the eastern of DRC. So,
well, we can't depend on the
media.
We can't depend on the media. What people can do, those who are watching, is is to continue to share the information, share this live. We're on IG, YouTube, Facebook, X, or Twitter. We have direct access to people like you. So Congolese have an outlet to tell their own story, and we can use the platform that are at our disposal to tell the story. So imagine if we were to rely on Western media to tell the story of Palestine, right? So we can't rely on Western media to tell the story of the Congo either. So critical, Akili Mali, you coming on, sharing with us what's happening directly from the ground, sharing when your video was interrupted there with people that you've been all over the region. This is your job. This is what you do. You go and get the stories and relay it out. So we call on people who are tuning in, watching, to amplify your voice, and the other journalists, because you're not alone. You have a collection of journalists with you, and people can follow you on Twitter. I don't know if Kito, you can put up Akili Mali's handle, or even Akili Mali, if you can type it in the chat, where people can follow you on Twitter or X and Instagram, and certainly they can follow you here. So it's so critical that people are always asking, what can we do? Well, you can transmit Akili Mali's reports. You can transmit the reports coming from voices on the ground. You can work with us to collaborate with our partners on the ground to tell the story, because we know it's not going to be told by the Western media. And if it is told, it's not going to be told accurately. And they certainly have a bias towards the Rwandan government, just like they have a bias towards the Israeli government. They have a bias towards Paul Kagame, just like they have a bias toward Benjamin Netanyahu. So that's our charge. That's our charge to get the authentic voices, the Congolese people who've been suffering from a almost 3-decade war of aggression and plunder. Almost 8 million, almost 7 million internally displaced. 100,000, according to reports coming from UN and Doctors Without Borders, has been displaced in the last week, or last week from Masisi, the latest city territory that the Rwandan soldiers and its M23 militia have captured in eastern Congo. So that's the very least that we can do. Those of you who are rallying to demonstrate at Apple stores, we hope to see you out in front of the Rwandan embassies demonstrating. We hope to see you out in front of the Arsenal football games demonstrating, because Arsenal's wearing in agreement with the Rwandan government, saying, visit Rwanda. They wear the insignia on their sleeve or on their back, visit Rwanda. We're saying, don't visit Rwanda. As long as Rwanda is occupying the Congo, as long as Rwanda is supporting and sponsoring militia groups in the Congo, as long as women are being raped, as long as children are being executed, as long as hundreds of thousands, millions of people are being displaced, don't visit Rwanda. Don't support any of the companies that support Rwanda. And we'll be sharing a number of those companies. And certainly you can begin with the football leagues and with the National Basketball Association. ESPN had done an expose on Rwanda. Just do a Google search, ESPN Rwanda. They did an expose on how the National Basketball Association, NBA, is in cahoots with the Rwandan government, while Rwanda is repressing its own population and occupying and waging a war of aggression, committing war crimes, crimes against humanity, and atrocities, genocide in the Congo. So there's a lot that you can do to be in solidarity with the Congolese brothers and sisters. Akili Mali, we're running short on time. I'll let you, if you would, please just give us the latest and what you expect, in terms of response from the Congolese military, in terms of the advances of the Rwandan military in cahoots with its militia, M23. How do you see things coming in? It's a horrible way to start off the year, but how do you see things coming in the near future?
Yes, before that, give me the opportunity, dear Maurice, to say to people, or you say about don't visit Rwanda. Also, please don't waiting from alarm. I don't know the right word, but the alarmist images. Like there are some NGOs which are there and are trying to withdraw the dignity of Congolese by showing when they are suffering, and they are saying that please donate, and because there are also so many collection of money on the ground and on organizations which are saying that they are on the ground and on the grassroots. And this is also the important way is for people to really don't support organization, and when people are thinking about showing, for example, showing bad images, showing images of Congolese which they haven't no clothes and whatever, in the way to get the intention from those organizations. And this is one of the important thing, and one of things which should be changed in the narrative. It means they are saying that people are living without, for example, water, and they are showing that people are taking some water in the street, and people are waiting when they are seeing those kind of images which cannot be the fake news, which cannot be the fake, but which are affecting the dignity of the Congolese people as a people and as a nation, as a woman, like all of you in US, in Ukraine, in UK, and another and whatever area in the world. This is also one of the important thing I should want to say in this live. And about your question, we don't know exactly what really will be the impact, but what I can say as a Congolese and as a Congolese journalist and as someone who is covering this war, that the Rwandan army will take more territory from now, because there is no any kind of change of tactics and practice and technologies from actors, from military actors on the ground. And also there is no any kind of development on political area with the process of Rwanda. So it means the situation will be more worse, and the M23 will take more territory with Rwanda. Rwanda will take more territory, as now they take more big than the Rwanda territory itself, but they will continue to take other territories. They will continue to take some strategical mines and some strategical areas, and they will still expanding their territory. And as I said, we will see if they will trying to build a kind of country, because they say that there's a plan right now of the M23. It's not to directly say that we will create a kind of country, but they will say before the discussion we'll still have our administration, our governor, our mayor, and our authorities, our policeman, and whatever. And after, at the end, they will the Rwanda army will control and will get more power in the area, and will decide about some politician which they will support, and those politicians which will be probably Congolese, and which will say, finally we say that we withdraw ourselves from Kinshasa and whatever, after they finish to control the territory. And this is one of the worst situation, because if this happen from the Congolese people, which are waiting for the united of the Congolese government, it will be one of the baddest news, and it will make this area to be in conflict more and more, because there are so many people which will not accept the Rwanda administration, and which will try to fight with weapons they will have, with opportunities they will have, by using means they will get. And this will make the situation more worse, because the problem of a country is about the balkanization, as you said, is for people to choose. And with around 100% in the Eastern DRC, people are saying that they want the Congo to be united. They want, even if we haven't the good administration, even if we haven't the good president we can expect, they saying we are still fighting, we're still keeping our country, and we will still fighting with dignity and with morality, with our means, and we will try to make the Congo more than it is right now, as Lumumba said.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Akili Mali. And really, it's so important for people to understand, to the extent that we see a unified Congo today in the face of 30 years of war of aggression, it's due exactly to that, what you just shared, the Congolese people's will to resist, Congolese people's will to maintain the unified Congo. It is due to the people, not to the state, not to the government, but to the people, that we see the Congo that we have today. Akili Mali, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. I know it's late there, and we'll be back with you. You'll be keeping us up to date on how things are unfolding, and we'll do what we can here, to as in the infamous words of Ali Bongo, we'll make noise but we'll do more than that.
More.
All
Make
right.
noise, yeah.
Make noise.
Please.
All right. Okay. Be well. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.